Holy crap, what was that? How many people here watched the Samsung event, and how many people thought they kind of missed the... Was the kid's name Timmy or Billy? I don't remember. The creepy kid who was in the, like... I don't even remember which phone it was. It was many years ago.
I think you're... Oh, okay. Yeah, I have no memory of previous Samsung things. I barely remember previous Apple things, and those are the events most people remember.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, I mean, setting devices aside, that show needed a warning on it. The devices look great. The show just had some serious cringe.
I don't know if I imagine other people got this vibe. Also, my lighting's terrible today because the sun's all over the place, and I don't have a light behind the desk right now. I need to get that set up soon. But I don't know if other people thought of this, but I was getting like, Samsung's events are very Apple vibes usually, but this one especially, it was such a mirror image of Apple's COVID presentations, like to the point where they were like zooming out of buildings and up to the earth and then zooming back.
Oh, that, yeah.
I was like, I've seen this before.
And done better.
Yeah, you're not fooling anyone, Samsung. You think you're hip and cool. You can't beat old Tim running around the Apple UFO.
Oh God, and yeah, I do get a lot of cringe every time they have Tim walking through the park, like the outside trails. But yeah, just in general,
Tim is the worst presenter. He's so low energy. he seems nice. He's so low energy.
Okay, I mean, dude, if we're gonna talk worst presenters, like actual worst.
He's not terrible, but there is like that stark contrast of whenever Tim brings anyone onto stage during an Apple event, like they're always like 5 times more jazzed up than he is.
Yeah. But Sundar, man, Sundar kills me.
I think Tim. Yeah, I'd probably put Tim like one level above Sundar if we're doing like the CEO presentation tier list.
Yeah, well,
but only one tier above.
And to be fair, it's not hard to put people below them, because just think. Okay, you don't remember old Samsung announcements, but man, Samsung's CEO, holy crap, he struggled so, like, I understand it, I'm not judging him, but my God, he struggled so hard to get English out, and that's fine. Like, I don't expect him to be great at English, but
I can barely speak English.
fair enough. Raspity. Yes. But you know, that's also maybe not the best person to have get up and do like, don't have someone like that get up and do a 10-minute straight talk to the audience.
Right.
Like, great. Have him get up and do like, you know, a 30-second, hey, how's everyone doing? We're super excited. And then get off the stage. Like, that would make more sense. Or just don't. Like, honestly, this whole thing of CEOs getting up to present, I think is dumb. It's unnecessary. One guy did it once. And, well, many times after that. But one guy did it, made it popular, and then everyone else is like, oh, you have to get up now because it's a thing. Not necessary. Anyway, Carson, Craig Federighi, love him.
I love Craig.
Though honestly, I loved him a lot more when he really leaned into the Air Force One jokes. Those have kind of gone by the wayside. Not really sure why.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to enable notifications for this watch, so I can maybe show a demo notification at some point. But yeah, so the Samsung, I liked, you know, they also copied the Apple thing, and Google for that matter, where they took this opportunity to be more concise than they usually are. Like Samsung events, they're such a drag. All the in-person ones, when someone's on stage talking, everything takes so long, which is great if you're very quickly behind the scenes writing everything that's coming on stage. So that part is nice, but it's not nice if you're just casually watching and you're like, come on, get to the point, please. And
Yes.
but there was still all of the marketing talk that drives me crazy every time, where like, you know, they had like a whole bit where they thought a selling point for the Galaxy Fold was that you could watch YouTube, and then when someone in the YouTube video had something you wanted to buy, you could go and buy it while still watching the YouTube video.
The
Which,
shoes. Yeah.
how often does that, like, I know I'm not like a normal person in these circumstances where I'm watching people unbox shoes on YouTube or whatever, but like, who does that?
Okay, full disclosure. I've totally watched YouTube videos and been like, okay, the thing this person's showing off is actually super cool. How much would this cost? How much money in the world does this cost?
Right.
And
But like at that point, like Android has a great solution for this. It's called picture-in-picture, where you can just go do something else while that's, you know, sit in the corner. And like I when I use split screen on tablets and phones and stuff, it's usually because I'm watching something, but it doesn't require my full attention, or I need to quickly answer an email or something, so I just push it off to the side and type the thing. I don't know why they didn't like use an example like that. The shopping thing was weird, but anyway, so yeah, there were a couple bits like that where they kept saying, like, they use like the buzzwords like content, and they had this whole speech in the middle that I totally zoned out for, where they were talking about how like Samsung is working to make technology accessible, which I thought was the stupidest thing to do right before they showed off the Fold, the most expensive thing. I was like, come on, guys. Do this at the beginning or the end or something. Don't do it in the middle before you show off the most expensive thing. But whatever.
Yeah, they definitely made a few practical mistakes in their presentation. But it's still, and going back to your earlier point, they were a lot more succinct about it. They really wanted to just hit point after point. It wasn't as rushed as like a Google presentation. I've now decided I actually hate Google presentations, because you'll be watching and they will give you like 3 or 4 minutes of solid buzzwordy, like, feel goodness stuff, and then they get into talking about the features, and it's like, hey, so we'd like to tell you about this new feature with the camera. It's going to be able to remove fences, and there's also this other feature over here where now you can go to the beach and it actually makes all the people around you disappear, but it also can do this other thing. And like, they're practically run-on sentences that deserve whole articles. And it's like, guys, it's okay. Slow it down a little bit. If you need to, break it up into 2 events. We're okay with this. Like, we actually would be happy with that. But don't do this. Samsung did pretty good here. Especially considering they announced... am I mistaken? Or they announced, I think, 4 products in, like, just barely over an hour. The buds, the watch, and 2 phones. Or am I forgetting something? And I'm not counting the styluses. Technically, that's another thing. But
yeah, I think that was it. Again, like, I tuned out for like a good third of that, so I'm not the authority here. But
that's fair.
Yeah, and I thought, again, like, when they weren't doing like that middle part where they were bragging about themselves, like, I thought that they were doing a good job of showing everything with like a good pace. Like, you know, they didn't do, there was no classic Apple moment where they just spit up everything on one presentation slide for like 10 seconds and you have to take a screen cap and then read it later, which Apple does for every single product announcement. It drives everyone crazy. So anyway, so that event was, again, it's the usual little bit of a drag, but it was fine. It's better than a lot of other corporate things I've had to watch over the past couple of years. So
Okay.
I don't really. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, actually, for your benefit, do we want to start with the watch since you have one, and then move on to the phone, and if you need to go.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I don't really have any opinions about both the phones. Because...
Okay, I have a few, but
okay. You want to say?
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, we can break into the phones. So number one, and it's a thing I think almost everyone's been talking about, is the under display camera, which I've now actually heard both takes on this, which is
it looks horrible, Cody.
That is definitely one of the takes. And I kind of think that is a decent take, because a lot of it does look a little not great.
It looks like a defective screen, is what it looks like.
Yes,
it looks
exactly.
Like you got
it looks like crushed LED.
Yeah, it looks like you got a bad case of the AMOLED burn-in, and it's just there forever.
Yeah, pretty much. Which, for anyone who missed it, this is admittedly a neat feature. Very legitimately, is a very cool feature. It's basically intended to be a camera that hides itself. And I like the idea of this. Basically, when you're using the camera, you get a punch hole. It shows through. The rest of the time, it basically just kind of covers itself up.
It kind of goes away.
Yeah, it kind of goes away, which is sort of the problem. It's half goes away. So let's see. I have get on the right thing here.
And Diablo brought up that Samsung had to toss in their usual reminder that they're working with Microsoft. Yeah, none of that is new. Like, even just for the Fold stuff specifically, like, Microsoft updated all of its apps when the Fold 2 came out and made them all work fine on the dual display. So again, like, nothing's new there.
Yeah. So yeah, anyway, if you're watching the stream, you can see, here's an image of the phone, just with the punch hole display not showing. It's the full display, and in this view, looks pretty good. It's a dark screen, so that's probably a little misleading. But, and sorry, I'm stealing from Michael Fisher's video at the moment. For anyone who wants the link to that, paste it into chat. Let's see. He does show somewhere up here, and I'm going to try to skip forward to find it. Was it here? No. Somewhere in here he does show what that camera cutout looks like. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay. So if you're looking at it right next to where this not smiley face is, you can see a tiny little thing that looks like a smudge. And it doesn't look that bad. I mean, it really doesn't. Except it would still be noticeable. And I've heard so many people say repeatedly already, like, half of the people seem to be, hey, this is actually kind of neat. It's not perfect, but we kind of like it. It's better than having a punch hole. And then the other half of the people have popped up saying, no, this really sucks. Like, it's distracting. It looks ugly. It looks like the screen is broken. We'd rather this just please give us the punch hole. So it's a mix of the two. And let's see, if I pop back, where is it? I swear in Michael Fisher's video. Yeah, here it is. If you catch it at the right angles, that's what it looks like. A weird grid of black pixels over a white screen. And it's not great. So yeah, I think this is one of those things where this generation, it's going to kind of suck. Next generation, I bet they'll fix this. In some way, shape, or form, they'll have a fix for this, and people go, okay, well, there we go. That was... It was the one-off. It was the one time that we had to suffer through it.
Yeah, this is like that terrible first year of notches where they were just the absolute worst thing to look at.
So yeah, honestly, I like that they're trying this. It's the classic like, hey, cheers, super happy you're trying something. The counter to that is that everyone who buys this phone is gonna be so annoyed next year when the phone comes out and it's like, yeah, we solved that problem, now it's gone, and they'll all be rushing to upgrade because they can't stand to have this ever again.
Yeah, I don't know if this was a in-between stage that needed to be on production hardware. I think I would rather just take Samsung's got the camera hold down to be pretty narrow on its flagship phones. So I don't know if this is like really an improvement until it could just be hidden completely.
Right.
But I'm not buying the phone.
So I think there is one other caveat to this, and it's that, unless I'm mistaken, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but this camera is only 4 megapixel. That
Which one?
sucks. The in-screen camera.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, the front cameras on phones are usually like it's a little bit like how the rear camera works, but I think to a greater extent of the megapixel count usually doesn't really matter that much in the end, just because there's so much processing involved, especially with the front camera. Where I've seen, I've tried budget phones with like 32 megapixel front camera, something total garbage still. So yeah. I don't know, maybe it looks fine, but like it's definitely not. It's probably still going to be a tier below all the other phones though. Yeah. Which puts this phone in this weird. I know everyone already had this take, so it's very lukewarm at this point. But it is kind of interesting how the new flips and folds are a little bit of like a downgrade from last year, because they're not trying to be like the ultra premium and the folding. They're trying to be the folding at a slightly more acceptable price point.
Arguably accessible, yeah. And okay, so confirmed, at least from Michael Fisher's video, it is a 4 megapixel inner selfie camera, which I believe is also the same as the selfie camera on the outside. I could be wrong.
Preston says a 16 megapixel. Are we talking about the flip? Right? Did they show it? No, I'm sorry. I could be so confused.
Okay, let's find the
yeah, so there's the Flip 3 and the Fold
3. If I try Fold 3 specs, what are the odds that's going to turn up?
So XDA's coverage says front camera 4 megapixel on the Fold.
Inner front camera is the one we're looking for. In-display camera. According to AP, it is 4 megapixel. The cover camera is 10 megapixel. The rear cameras are 12, 12, and 12. Where is 16 coming from?
Carson says GSM Arena. GSM Arena is wrong a lot of the time. Yeah, and also I bet what they might
so much stuff.
Yeah, what they might also be confused on is Samsung, and I know other companies do this too, but Samsung especially does the thing where they put a higher megapixel sensor on it, but then they bend the pixels together, and you can't like change it. So like a 16 megapixel camera might actually just be 8. Like the highest you can go in the camera app is 8 megapixels. So they do stuff like that where they combine pixels in the software. So even if like technically it's a 16 megapixel part, it doesn't actually produce 16 megapixel images. But yeah, GSM Arena probably just did a typo.
My bet, because I know that they've done this in the past, they literally a lot of times just copy paste former listings for stuff
Yeah.
And when they do that, they don't always update a lot of the specs, or they forget a spec here and there, which is also exactly why Best Buy has a lot of bad specs on their site. Best Buy's actually notorious for this.
Yeah, and Hoopy actually said, well, the Fold still has the outer screen selfie cam. I think this is just supposed to be a better than nothing video call thing than actually use, which is a fair point.
Though, as Michael Fisher's video notes, and yeah, sorry, I got a lot of my quick like follow-up stuff out of his video. As he points out, the problem with this is you end up with like this basically. It's going to be your video calls, but also your selfie camera if you actually want to have a good large view of your selfie camera. Okay, so that screen that's on the other side of the phone, that's decent for selfie usage, but it's not necessarily your best option. Like if you're gonna have the phone out at a distance, that little inner selfie camera with the big screen is not really the best way to go for it. So point is, it's making a sacrifice in order to put the camera under the display. That's kind of the thing I'm focusing on here, is they had to make a sacrifice and make it a tiny little crappy camera as opposed to something that could have been better.
Yeah, and again, like I kind of feel like this is a design phase that Samsung probably should have skipped to the end, where at least then at the end of the day we could say, well, it might be a bad camera, but at least I can't see it, and we're not even there yet. So I don't know. But again, like, I'm not buying either of the phones, so I'm not gonna die over it.
All that being said, to your point earlier about trying to hit a price point, or well, not quite how you said it, but that's how I'm interpreting it.
Right. Like
they reused, they did the thing that everyone hates Google for. They completely reused the rear camera modules. Everything is exactly the same as last year, which, okay, I don't think is a bad thing. They're perfectly good cameras. But yeah, it really just reinforces that Samsung's focus was really just on the screen and getting in stylus support. They weren't really focused on the camera. They didn't really put much into a lot of other stuff. It's fine, but that's, yeah, it's a factor that I think it'll irritate some people, is the point I guess I'm making.
Yeah, like this isn't like a, you know, also the Fold's in this weird position where it's supposed to be like a substitute for No Note this year. So, and the Note is usually the one that has the best cameras because it's the biggest, so they can put the most stuff in it.
Yeah.
So if you're coming from the Note, might be a little bit disappointed.
Yeah. And so let's see.
And I know Ben at XDA, I think he wrote an editorial about this, or maybe it was his tweet, but he was mentioning how at some point Samsung probably needs to make different tiers of these designs, just like they do with normal phones. I imagine the volume isn't there yet for that to be profitable.
No,
but like at some point it feels like the smart thing to do. Right?
In truth,
you know,
I don't think it's volume that's the problem, though it might be. But I think it's manufacturing yield, because the foldable displays are, I bet, during manufacturing, I bet they are just more fragile, more prone to breakage. I suspect that they probably just have a higher failure rate in manufacturing. So, you know, they can't put them out too much cheaper than a certain number.
Yeah.
And then you also have, I forget what it's called. I want to call it Samsung Care. Whatever it is, who cares? Samsung's basically like insurance thing.
Yeah.
You got to figure there's just a large amount of breakage. This is a phone that is going to be more fragile. It is more prone to damage. Therefore, they're covering a lot of broken phones. They have to be, and that alone has got to be increasing their cost. So Yeah, I honestly, I don't think Samsung can get these out much cheaper than what they are already.
And also the chip shortage is going to throw everything off for the foreseeable
Yeah.
future.
Yeah, very much. But, you know, in let's say 2 to 3 years, 1000%, this is going to become so commonplace.
Yeah. So yeah, those are the phones. How much do they cost in the end? Okay,
It is.
so
It's basically 1,800 for the Fold, and 1,000 for the Flip.
Man, that Fold. I only want the Fold. That's what kills me. Like I have zero interest in the if people like the Flip, that's cool. I'm glad they're getting what they like. I have no interest in that form factor at all. But I'm very much on board with the tablet in my pocket idea. And that's still one that's always going to be more expensive. So.
I will say this. For me, if I was buying something for me, definitely just for me, I do want the Fold, no questions asked, because I want the tablet in my pocket, 100%. But oh my god, the reverse screen on the Flip 3, the design of it, the potential to actually kind of hide this away in what I'm walking around in, I love that. I want it. I'm not going to get it, not just because of price, but if I'm going to carry one of these, I'm going with the Fold 3. But I really like the design of the Flip. I think they actually made a pretty good product here. It just is, of the two, it's just not the one I would have picked over the other. Also, I like styluses. I would just want the Fold 3 for the stylus.
Yeah, I have the S Pen on my Tab S6, and it is helpful. Although the one place where it's the most helpful is where it's not optimized at all, and I wish it was, which is Lightroom, where I can use it as a pointer in Lightroom just fine, like changing, it's great for changing sliders, because then you can see it and your big fat finger isn't in the way. But what really kills me is when I'm trying to do content, like the spot heals and the content aware fills, and it treats the stylus like a finger, because there's no stylus specific code in that app. So like dragging around, it takes a second to drag and then it just leaps. So it's really hard to get the alignment right on some stuff, because it's like a finger. Like you don't want things to drag if you just like tap it with your finger. So I really wish Adobe would get on that. But the S Pen's great. I am curious how well it will compare to the S Pen on the Notes, because it's a much more rounded, like it's a lot like when I was watching the videos, it looked a lot closer to the just fake finger styluses you can get for anything.
Yeah.
Like there's no hard tip, because again, like this is like plastic and it's going to scratch if there's a hard tip. So I'm curious how that will end up.
Yeah, my optimism with the quality of using the stylus isn't high, but it is an interesting thing. Also, for those who didn't know, and I didn't see this written really anywhere else, though it's hard to look very many places. One neat thing is they did design the stylus with a pressure sensitive tip, or rather not pressure sensitive, but pressure retracting tip. So if you press too hard on the screen, the tip of the stylus will actually pop inside.
Yeah,
just a
that's
little
funny.
bit. Which is smart. It's a good way to remind people, hey, lighten up.
Yeah, and there's two digitizers in the display, which I thought was like, oh, that must have been such a pain in the ass.
Yep.
Trying to sync up like drawing and sensitivity across two.
And I didn't see, but were they able to have the stylus actually go all the way across the crease?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't looking, but
Yeah, they did like again, like it was like for a couple of seconds, but they did a demo where they like draw back and forth and they showed a little debugging thing in Android where it shows input and it was going across.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's neat. But yeah, I'm curious how that will stack up because it's not a hard point, so it's gonna feel less like a pen or a pencil, but it's still an active stylus, so it's still a step above like the fake finger styluses.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the phones.
I do have one last thing that I want to call out, and that's the
Okay.
that's the IP rating. I guess both the water resistance and dust resistance. So first off, it is IPX8, so there is basically just no notion of dust resistance. That's what the X is.
Okay.
It's not there. So, in other words, shit gonna get in there. Period. You're gonna get stuff inside of the fold because things are gonna make their way through the springs or the hinges.
Don't
And they
bring it
do
with
have
you to the beach.
Yeah, they do have brushes. They do have stuff that will try to keep things out, but realistically, things are going to get in there. And then it is also IP68, as in water resistant to 1.5 meters. But that comes with some, oh my god, huge, like, you need to know this. It's understandable, it's acceptable, but holy crap, you need to know this before you do something stupid. It is achieving IP68 not by keeping water out of the device, but by basically coating the internal components and contact points so that they are themselves water resistant. This is a tactic that has been used in other things, but it comes with two very big problems. Number one, those coatings, they are susceptible to certain chemicals. For example, chlorine and salt water. So don't drop your phone in the freaking pool still. You cannot take it diving with you. You cannot you can't go in the ocean.
That goes for the coating on normal IP68 phones too. Like you really should not take them in the ocean.
Well, a lot of those are achieving their IP68 qualities by using rubber seals. And those rubber seals are still protecting the phone while they're in the water. Granted, they will corrode from exposure, especially to salt water. But, I mean, we're talking about something that's not, it will hold up, and your phone probably won't die. Whereas I don't know how long it's gonna take. Maybe it's one dip. Maybe you could expose the phone to pool water for like days and it'd be okay. I'm not sure, but yeah, I wouldn't trust those coatings to not get destroyed pretty quickly from other chemical exposures. The other catch is this is going to be water that gets inside your device, and then it probably doesn't really have a way back out. So I'm just going to raise the obvious question. Are you okay with mushrooms growing out of your phone?
It's a snack. It's a snack for later, Cody.
Yes, it is. I'm growing a garden inside my Fold 3.
The ultimate eco-friendly phone. It has its own internal biome.
Yes. This will be how they power phones in the future. It was an accidental discovery when Samsung fucked up the Fold 3. But no, look, in all fairness, this is something that was already technically possible, but you probably would have destroyed your previous Fold if something like this happened. Now, if you get water in there, there's a chance that it could result in mold or smells or other things. All of these were technically problems in the past. Technically, this should not be a big problem now. I'm just acknowledging it's technically now a possibility. It is something to be careful of. So, if someone gets a Fold, I mean, be as careful as before. And if you get water into your Fold, be prepared with a bowl of rice, and your phone will survive. It'll keep running, in fact, but you probably don't want to let water stay in there.
Yeah. Also, I don't see. It doesn't look like the S Pen stays in the phone, does it?
It does not. No, they do not have a channel for it. Well, they do sell separate cases that have an S Pen holder.
Yeah, that's what they did with the S21 Ultra, which that's what annoyed me the most because I finally got an S21 Ultra from work to do comparison posts for, and Samsung didn't send the S Pen case. It's like the one case I wanted to try because I've never tried S Pen on a phone before. I've had a bunch of tablets that had it, but not a phone. And Samsung didn't put the digitizer in the S21 and S21 Plus, only the Ultra. So
yeah,
fun times. But yeah, so those are the phones, and they also showed off the watches. And while the event was happening, my Watch Classic showed up, which I was gonna try to get redirected to a FedEx pickup site because I didn't know when it would come, and I get anxious waiting for the door, but they didn't let me do it. So at least it came at a time when I was awake and ready to go to the door. But anyway, so I got the watch. And I got the smaller, I think it's 40 millimeter Watch Classic, but this has to go back to Samsung. So I did order the 44 millimeter normal Watch 4 from Samsung this morning, and they gave me $150 trade-in for my Watch Active 2, which is pretty good because I bought it for like 160 or 170 on Swappa a few months ago, because I had a Watch 3, but that had to go back to Android Police when I left there. And I also had educational discount because my school email from 2 years ago still works. And I had some Samsung credit because someone at some point used my affiliate link and gave me money points. So in the end, even though I also added a leather band to my order, I got the whole thing for like $60. So I'll pay $60 for the new smartwatch. That's it. That's how they're going to get me every time. I'm realizing this. So they keep saying I'm done, I'm going to keep what I have for forever, and they're like, oh, it's almost free to get the new thing. Like,
yeah, and I've said it many times. I one of these days I need to actually get into this Samsung upgrade cycle because I didn't years ago, and I'm regretting it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because like last year I bought my S20 because it had a string of OnePlus phones that never quite worked right, and I was sick of dealing with weird software stuff. So I was like, I'm just gonna buy myself a phone that I know that works, and I knew it worked because the year before that I had the S10e, but it was the international one, so it didn't really work right. But I knew Samsung software was fine, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna buy the US S20. And then the S21 comes out and it fixes my main complaint, which was the stupid curved screen. This phone just has a flat screen, so I can put a case on it easier. I can put a screen protector on it. So I was like, yeah, I'll pay $100 to switch that out. And it's getting longer support anyway. So that's fine. And, you know, and then I bought the Watch Active 2 used when I left AP. And I thought I was just going to keep that for forever, but I didn't know that Samsung was just going to tease in for wearables in the trash. So as I told myself, like, as long as the trade-in was like, okay, I'll buy the new watch. And the trade-in was more than okay. So I'm okay with that. So yeah, that's coming at some point. But I have the 40 millimeter, this is the 40 millimeter Watch Classic. So they have the normal watch and then the Watch Classic. It's nice that this year they just have the two designs that are the same watch, because usually they did this in like off years with each other, which was kind of annoying because like if you wanted the traditional looking watch, then like you didn't get like the newest stuff necessarily. So it's nice that they're pulling like a fossil and just having different designs, but it's the same watch underneath. And so this is just the black one with whatever band they came with, but I mean it looks like all the other Galaxy watches, and it has the spinny boy that you can use to change stuff.
That is neat.
Yeah, I get it. I wish they'd find a way to put this on the slimmer watches, because I do like it, but I don't. I know people like this design, and I liked it on the Watch 3 for the most part. But I like I have the I think this is the 44 millimeter Watch Active 2. I just like how much slimmer this is. And the bulky classic watches, but I wish they'd put that spinny thing on the other one. But it does work. I need to test it with more Wear OS apps, but it does work for at least the basic navigation of scrolling through everything. A couple interesting thoughts, and I'll do a little mini explainer here, and then if people can drop questions in the chat, and I'll try to answer them, or if I can't, then I'll write them down because they'll probably be helpful to answer when I write more stuff. But so this is the first watch with Wear OS 3, and to my knowledge, we don't know what stock Wear OS 3 looks like. I know Google updated the Wear OS emulator images and stuff with the Material U redesign, but I don't think that's Wear OS 3.
Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure we haven't really seen what Wear OS 3 is yet. This is running the OS, but I think there's going to be a different skin when Google actually different skin and features when Google actually launches a Pixel Watch.
Yeah. So
I'll be right back. Keep going.
So we won't have, as far as I know, we won't really know what stock Wear OS 3 looks like unless Google releases a Pixel Watch at some point, or in a year when Wear OS 3 starts to roll out to the TicWatch 3. So it's going to be a while either way. But I was Carson said, how's the performance? I haven't tried a lot of it yet, and I know it's still, every time you set up a Wear OS watch, it's just it is a little slow almost like an Android phone, where it's a little bit slow first because it's downloading updates for everything in the background. So I don't want to judge it on performance yet. It seems about as snappy as Tizen right now. It's definitely got the same Samsung isn't doing what I've seen Fossil do, where they're running the screen at a lower refresh rate, which makes the whole thing feel slower. This looks like 45 or 60 hertz. I think there's some ADB commands I can do to verify, so I'll maybe do that later. But yeah, so again, so I don't know what the differences are between what will be specific to Samsung's Wear OS 3 and what's going to be a normal Wear OS 3. I'd love to know, but I don't think Google or Samsung is going to tell people yet. But I am surprised already by how much Samsung has presumably changed Wear OS. Because number one, Carson brought up what I was about to say. You don't use the Wear OS app. This is the first Wear OS watch that you don't set up and manage with the Wear OS app. Now, other watches from Mobvoi, like the TicWatches and Fossil, they had their own apps for the watches, but that was just for changing some stuff with the built-in watch faces and whatever health systems they added in addition to Google Health. But everything's through the Galaxy Wearable app. So actually, if I open, so here I have the Galaxy Wearable app, and it's not, I've got all my other wearable stuff in the side. You can't see it because the camera's blowing everything out, but got the watch there, and all the settings panels and everything, it looks like the settings for the Tizen watches, not the Wear OS watches. So I was surprised. This is way more customization than I was expecting. Samsung's really tried. Where if you handed me this watch and told me it was just a Tizen update, I'd 100% believe you. Until I saw the Play Store icon. But Like it is surprising how much they've done here. Also, they've changed where some stuff is positioned in Wear OS, which is interesting. So when you have a Wear OS watch, like you start at the watch face, and then you swipe to the on the left side. I'll try restarting.
Yeah, I don't even think it's.
Okay, I tried rejoining, but
Yeah, I don't think it's that. I think it's something about Jitsies.
yeah,
I think just like lagging video. That or maybe it's Chrome, because that happens. I've mentioned this before. When I see you through the Chrome window, you're choppy as hell. But for some reason, OBS normally records a really smooth view. But for some reason right now, it's chopping with you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what's going on. Just being weird.
Yeah. So anyway, so that was surprising. Like I turned on the watch and it was like, all right, download the Galaxy Wearable app. I'm like, what? I thought I was using the other one now. So that's kind of weird. I don't know if it's. I don't really think. I don't know if it's an improvement or not. It's probably a side grade because both the apps are not good.
Right.
But anyway. But yeah, like Samsung's also moved around stuff. Again, I don't know how much of this is Wear OS 3 and how much of it is One UI. But usually with Wear OS, how it works is that you have the watch face when you just turn on the watch, and below that you scroll down, and it shows your notifications in a stack. And then you go to like the left, and that's where what's on the left? I haven't used a Wear OS watch in like 2 months.
To the left was.
Actually, I don't.
Wow.
I don't think there's nothing because you just swipe to go between the tiles now. So yeah, notifications are down. So what Samsung did is they put the notifications to the left of the watch face, like on Tizen. So
now left is notifications on my LG Watch W7.
Didn't it used to be? Carson's saying
the hell?
Carson's saying the assistant feed is.
Oh
yeah.
Okay, it's assistant feed. It looked like notifications when I first glanced at it. Yeah, so it's assistant feed. Down below is notifications.
Yeah. So Samsung moves some stuff around. So when I swipe when I go left from the watch face, there's my notifications. And it's not like Wear OS where it's just like in a stack and you just scroll up and down. It's like everyone has its own page, like on Tizen. And you can tap it to do options. Which is like, again, like this is exactly like Tizen. So I know some people have opinions about the differences between how each of those show alerts, and it's just Tizen there.
Okay, so yes, that is, but in a way, it's actually also Wear 1.0. In original Wear, when you went from notification to notification, you would swipe up, and it wasn't like a smooth stream. It was card by card.
It was different pages. Yeah.
Honestly, kind of. I mean, I get why that wasn't ideal all the time, but I also kind of like that more.
Yeah, I liked how that looked. Also because having like a card inside of an already tiny screen is maybe not the best UI choice. There's just no room for text. But I did like how on early Wear OS it did the notification in a card, and then the background was like a blurred image of whatever the notification was, which was cool. Like it was, I do like that design. So anyway, so the notifications are different. I assume this is just their One UI skin. Maybe Google moved where the notifications are in general, but again, this is so close to Tizen that I imagine this is just Samsung's. So Carson said, wait, it's a swipe right and then a swipe. Yeah, so when I'm on the watch face, my webcam is not going to cooperate, I'm sorry. And I go this way, then like each of my notifications is a card, and then there's a clear all button at the end. So
Is there a way to individually clear a single notification? Like maybe a swipe up or down on that notification?
Yeah, you swipe up.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, just exactly like Tizen. And then what they did, and I don't know if I'm a fan of this yet, because again, I just haven't used enough of it yet, but they put an app launcher below the clock. So on other Wear OS apps, you'd click this little side button over here. That I guess doesn't do anything. Okay. So normally you'd click the side button on Wear OS, and that would open just a list of apps. And you could pin some apps to the top. So what Samsung has done is I think they just straight up copied Apple, because you swipe down and it's this whole grid thing. Can we focus? No.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think you're too close for focus on that. Anyway,
it's just a bunch of icons, and you tap one to open it. So, yeah. So that's a little bit different. And you can reorder apps by dragging them. So again, this is not going to show it all, but I can like move them around a little bit here. So I don't know how to feel about that yet, because the app launcher on Wear OS wasn't great, but at least it was always in like, you could read the app names and they were in alphabetical order, and you could like pin one or two to the top, so it was like kind of fine. The app launcher on Tizen was not good. Here, if I go back to my Watch Active 2, so I open the apps by clicking the side button here. Oh, unlock it. Okay, so there's the watch face, and I click this, and it opens the app drawer. And the apps on Tizen are on pages. So you'd have to like scroll through the pages and then like kind of do this thing where you select the right app, or you can tap it and then tap again to confirm. I don't like it. So I'm glad that's gone. I don't know if this new like Beehive UI is any better. But I know that's what Apple.
A lot of what Apple has.
Yeah, it's very much like the Apple Watch launcher, which I guess people are used to that. So. Yeah, Carson said even the bubble launcher on Apple's Watch OS is terrible. Yeah, so I'll have to mess around with it. Again, I've only had this I've barely played with this at all. But the rest of it isn't really that different from Wear OS. It's got the tiles on the other pages, and Samsung's added all their usual tiles, and the tiles even look exactly like they did on Tizen. But I assume if I go to try to add one, yeah, they're still called tiles, and it looks like I don't see Google's here on the tiles list. Because Google had I remember they had like the news one. I don't know, maybe those are like downloadable apps on Samsung's version, but yeah, like you still swipe down from the top to get like the little swipe down from the top to get the little quick access things, and they work the same, but they're more one UI look now. So yeah, and then I bet if I go to like the settings, it's probably gonna be the same thing. Oh yeah, they've changed the setting app too. Everything's in like different places. That's great. I love when they do that.
Yeah, so. This does sound like kind of a good. Well, I don't want to call it a change, because it seems like it's a good thing that they're bringing these two together, because I have a feeling that if nothing else, this is going to kind of remotivate some changes in Wear. But at the same time, it's like different for the sake of being different.
This is very much again, like if you handed me this watch and told me it was running Tizen, I would believe, because like they've changed more than I thought. I didn't think they would have Galaxy Wearable as the app anymore, because that app's terrible, and I thought they'd want to get rid of that. I was also surprised that Samsung Health is still on here, and they said before that they weren't going to put Samsung Health on the new watches in an interview. So I'm surprised that's there. Although now that I'm not forced to use Samsung Health, I probably won't use it anymore. But yeah, like that, it's also got Samsung Pay on here, so that's still here if you want to use that instead of Google Pay for whatever reason. I should try setting up Google Pay too. I imagine that works, but it's good to try it anyway. So yeah, I need to play around with this more. I need to try some Wear OS apps. I don't think the Spotify app is ready yet. I don't see it installed. So I don't think that's done yet.
So Austin, I'm pretty much guessing here, but yeah, basically if you don't have a Samsung phone, you still have to download the Samsung app for their wearable app. That being said, I'm suddenly a little weirdly curious if technically the Google's Wear OS app would possibly work. I mean, I kind of doubt it.
Yeah, I mean, I could try. Maybe if I have time, maybe I'll try resetting it and.
Yeah, well,
I have the.
Maybe the last thing you do
OS
before
app.
throwing it in a box.
Yeah.
just pack or just do a quick reset and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it does. Like I have the Wear OS app installed because I was using the one of the Fossil watches, and it doesn't even show up on the list here. Like as the already set up watches, so it's not sharing like the same database.
On the local database on the phone. One thing kind of this is dumb and just totally inside baseball kind of stuff, but I wonder how many reviewers, hands-on people, whatever, I wonder how many of them got the watch and immediately opened up the Android Wear watch and were like, why isn't this working?
Yeah. Well, I looked
Assuming
at
it doesn't.
Cody. I looked at the quick start guide. This little tiny piece of paper that tells me how many FCC rules this has, and it says right on the first page, install the Galaxy Wearable app, and it also tell me when I open the watch, which made me confused.
I honestly don't think I've looked at those quick start guides in a long time.
I didn't either, but I had to take pictures of it. So.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
So, yeah, this is interesting. Bixby's the default assistant. I'll have to see where you can. Actually, I'll check now if that can be changed. Also, I noticed when I went to the Play Store, Google Fit is not even installed by default, which is kind of interesting. So, Google's really giving Samsung a lot of control here.
Yeah. I wonder how much that was part of a deal, or is that Google just kind of is this a case of Google intentionally saying, hey everyone, we've decided to just give up on this, like we're changing our policies, you can do with this whatever you would, just like you would with a phone? Or is this, yo Samsung, we gotta work together, you want to configure stuff, all right, just don't tell anyone else. They'll all know, but just like don't brag about it, okay?
Okay, if there's an option to change it back to Google Assistant, I haven't found it yet, so I'll have to look into that. I can't imagine
there is. So what's the charging puck look like? There's a question.
It's the same thing as all the other Samsung watches, so that's it. I haven't taken the plastic wrap off, but
so magnet and it just latches on.
Yeah, it just it's not MagSafe, but you just put on the. There's a little bit of magnet, so this isn't like the stupid Huawei watch where like you have to like be very precise with putting on the dock. You just kind of slap it on and it'll line. Again, just like all the previous Galaxy watches, this does not charge with a normal Qi pad. You need the puck that comes with it, or you need a official Samsung charger, or you can use Power Share. If you have a Samsung phone, you can put the watch on the back and it'll charge. but it does not. I already tried it with just a normal wireless charging pad. Hoopy said, "When will smartwatch chargers not be USB-A?" Like I get the complaint, but they're not putting a wall adapter in the box with this. So I guess the thing is, like, more people probably have spare USB Type A wall adapters than they do Type C. And it's not like this doesn't fast charge at all. Like this little puck here, it says 5 volts, 1 amp, so that's 5 watts. So this is not charging rapidly at all.
Okay, so I'm also gonna kind of tackle that in a slightly different point. My LG Watch 7 or W7, whatever, the charger for this, and I know what you're saying. You're complaining about the charger that comes in the box, but I feel like it's worth noting. I don't know if you can even see this in the camera, but I kind of hold it the right angle. The base of this thing is still USB-C. So okay, sure, the thing that comes in the box is USB-A, the charging brick that everyone's gonna pull out and promptly throw into the bin. Yeah, that's USB-A. But I can plug this in at anywhere I can find a USB-C cable. It's happy. Like, there's definitely better approaches than this. Like, yeah, they could put like just the connector on the cradle and just let me use whatever cords I have. Especially when, again, like cords eventually fray and snap and stuff, and you could just not have to buy the whole cradle again. Okay, I don't know why I didn't even think about that. So that's a permanent cable on that charging base?
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
it's
that
attached.
is so stupid. I hate that. I'm passionate.
Fossil does this too. And yeah, I really don't like, and I also I really don't get why they can't enable just normal Qi charging. It drives me crazy because like it is wirelessly charging, but there's just that extra bit of DRM or charging data being passed through that makes it not compatible with normal stuff, and it drives me crazy. Because like at least with the Fossil watches, like their charging cradle is just like pins, so like that's not wireless charging. I get that, but like there's the coils in this watch for that, so it drives me crazy.
Yeah. I mean, there are scenarios where I kind of understand it, but I don't think they're relevant enough to this. Yeah, I do agree. I'm just gonna go to the point I was kind of half accidentally making. That give us a charging base with a USB-C port. That's it. After that, let me solve the rest. I'm way happier to solve the rest and just be content with it, because if I want at any time, I can pull the cable out of this thing and I'm good to go. Like I can take the base with me. I don't need to worry about that. I can just bring like 2 or 3 USB-C cables and life is happy. Is the YouTube Music app available on the Watch Play Store? That's actually a good question.
I will check. Let me see if it's on. I don't see it in the app drawer.
Part of me doubts that YouTube Music is actually like. I know they have a Wear app coming, but I don't think it's launched yet, if I remember correctly.
And I know 9 to 5 just did a post where they got some kind of confirmation that the Spotify app and I think the YouTube Music app is not coming to older Wear watches. Which makes no sense at all, but yeah. Okay, let me try voice searching here. Allow Samsung. Yes. Okay. Yes. Yes. YouTube Music. Oh, something went wrong. Oh, this is Wear OS.
Something went wrong. Oh yeah, it's Wear OS.
YouTube Music. Okay, I did it that time. Results for YouTube Music. Nope, there's nothing. So, not yet. No YouTube app yet.
Yeah.
And yeah, Carson said that The Verge said assistant is not on lunch, and I'm seeing in our Select that XDA got the same response, that there's no assistant yet, but quote, we will share more details once they're ready, quote.
Yeah, and I already knew Maps wasn't going to be. I forget why. I swear they actually pre-announced or something that Maps wasn't going to be.
Let me see, is Maps on the... No, it's on. It's. I see a Maps icon.
Maybe they're getting an early version of it or something.
Yeah, maybe. Let me see. Hold on. Let me. Okay. Yeah, it is. It is working. Let me drag to a place where I'm not going to dox myself. Hold on. Okay.
Corbin proceeds to still dox himself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, there's Google Maps. It's working. It's on there. Can't see it because of my webcam, but I can assure you it's running. And it's still pretty janky, like it is on other watches, but it's there. So
the jank is real, folks.
It is.
But yeah, I no matter what, I don't have high expectations for Maps to suddenly become like an awesome high performance mapping tool.
There's a compass app apparently. That's kind of fun, I guess. Was that? No, I don't remember that.
I've seen tons of smartwatches have that.
I don't remember.
I'm thinking you probably just overlook it because it's almost always one of those apps that.
Is that on my watch?
It'd be kind of honestly weird if it wasn't.
Well, I know Samsung on the Tizen watches, they also had a lot of apps that seemed really basic, but they made you download it through the Galaxy Store, like the calculator, and I think like the camera controller was also in the Galaxy Store, or the remote shutter. But yeah, I don't see it on here. Maybe it's in the Galaxy Store on here, but okay. So yeah, I'll have to play around.
Because I know I have a compass app on my LG Watch 7, though very notably, it's actually one of a few features that are part of a custom app. So, strictly speaking, it's not an individual compass app; it's several. But, which I need to calibrate the watch before the compass will work.
You know, I'm gonna try it. Yep. You know what I want to also mess around with, and I might get like Zach or someone to help me debug, is I want to see if is Assistant like technically on here, and it's just there's no way to change the defaults yet. I want to mess around with that, because if it's like Android, then like there is infrastructure for changing the default Assistant app. And I know that was something that I saw someone cover where, I saw someone cover where Google was working on code in Wear OS 3 for changing the default Assistant, but maybe it works already. They just don't have the UI done. So Carson said Maps is actually available on Wear OS 2, but I think the newer version of the app is exclusive to Wear OS 3. I mean, this just looks like... Okay. Yeah, I mean, this looks like... Again, I haven't used the Maps app on Wear OS in ages, but this looks like it... I remember it looking. But yeah, I'll do some investigating there. Carson said, is there an updated Google Messages app? No, I think this has Samsung Messages. Yeah, it's showing text from my Samsung Messages app. So, yeah, I guess you'd have to download Google Messages from the Play Store, and I'd imagine that's probably also just the same app everyone has at this point.
Possibly. But in fact, most likely. But yeah, I think a lot of this stuff is going to suddenly become available right around the time of the Pixel Watch, if that ever happens.
Yeah. Like, I'm kind of surprised how much has changed already. Or what Samsung has changed, at least. But yeah, and I'll also be curious how long-term battery life is, because it's always been like the most easily visible difference. between Wear OS and Tizen.
Yeah.
Was Tizen could get not like significantly better, but it was better. Like it's not like Fitbit level because there's still a whole operating system with Wi-Fi and everything else going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this seems nice so far. But I mean, like I liked all the previous Galaxy watches, so I'd be surprised if Samsung pulled a surprise and made just a garbage watch.
I mean, technically, you never know. It could certainly happen. But...
Yeah. So yeah, this seems interesting. Oh, I need to charge it. It's at 37%. I'll just put it on my Watch 2 charger that I already have plugged in.
Yeah. Well, hey, they at least they sent you something with enough power in it to use it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They also sent me a Note 20 Ultra.
Did they really?
Yeah, it's in the box here.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Do you get to?
I mean,
dare I ask? Do you get to keep it?
I'm gonna assume not. But yeah, like they just sent me a whole Note 20. I get.
Okay, so I don't know if there's anything to this. I didn't check everything, but I did see a conversation between people at AP. Somebody who's reviewing one of the watches did make some comment about they asked if he had a Samsung phone to use with the watch, and of course their response was no, send us something please. But yeah, I don't know if there's unique stuff, but I bet there is.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
Samsung is super big on ecosystem and like synergy between devices, so I can't see a scenario where they don't put something in there that is like only available when both are connected.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna make a note of that to try that. I'll try resetting this and downloading the Galaxy wearable app on. I have a OnePlus phone set up, I think, right now, so I can try doing it on there. But I mean, like they even said during the presentation, like their big thing was making sure it worked on non-Samsung stuff too. Like, I mean, even the Tizen watches worked on non-Samsung phones too. I know there's a couple things that always needed to be paired to a Samsung phone for. I know there was a misconception with some people where Samsung Pay on the watch needed a Samsung phone paired. That's not true. I've used Samsung Pay on the watch with just a OnePlus phone and it worked fine. The only one I can think of that needed one was one of the advanced like blood monitoring things. It needed an app on the phone that was only available from the Galaxy Store, which was very weird. But again, like it wasn't anything major, because all the stuff is just on the watch itself. You can download apps from the store on the watch.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, but yeah, they just sent me a whole ass. I've never tried the Note. There. I'm probably not going to set this up because then I'm going to have to reset it later when I send this back. But that's nice of them, I guess.
Well, set it up, get your Dropbox referral out of it, and
I'm going to keep click. This is going to be the most expensive stress toy. I'm just going to keep clicking this title. Okay.
Believe me,
I like this color though.
I know something about randomly using things just to keep your hands busy. I have such a bad habit of doing that with whatever gadget's sitting on the desk in front of me. Though right now I'm at least spinning bouting balls, so it's good for health.
Michelle's asking about the YouTube music too. See, this show's great because it's just giving me. I already know the answers to all these questions that people are going to ask.
This is what happens when you actually have smart, intelligent viewers.
It's true. true.
No, not pandering at all.
And a very smart, intelligent host.
Okay. We'll see what you
Like,
get.
I'll take that. I might even get paid for this show.
Hey, if I get paid for this show, I'll somehow help you out too. Yeah, one of these days I need a sponsorship from some company that's gonna be like, hey, do like a 20-minute segment on your show about our thing, and I'll be like, all right, pay.
Mm-hmm. Have you heard of this game called Clash of Clans?
Oh God. No, oh crap, what was that one? Every YouTuber was covering this one.
Is it like the boat one?
No.
I saw the boat one a lot. I saw one about tanks a lot.
Something Realms, maybe? I don't know.
I don't know.
I remember DeFranco was like every episode was a sponsorship for this one game for a while. Carson
said sponsorship from Linode. Oh hell yeah! I'd let Linode sponsor. Yeah. I actually like them. For that.
Exactly.
I've paid for their services and they were pretty good. That's more than I can say for a lot of the other companies that sponsor podcasts.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to decide one of these days who I want to allow to sponsor, and I look forward to having to say, look, I'd consider you GoDaddy, but no.
Oh.
I just really want to be able to say no to GoDaddy.
Yeah, I've thought about that about a couple times with Tech Tales, even though I don't know when or if it would ever grow to the point where I could get sponsorships, but not doing anything owned by Amazon. I know that for a fact. Because I know Audible is like the big one. I was going to say,
I think Audible's the only thing that Amazon really sponsors.
Not doing Audible over my dead body. Probably not going to do any VPNs if I can help it, because basically all the ones that do extensive advertising are the ones that don't do like independent security audits.
Exactly.
And all the other stuff. If Proton VPN wanted to hit me up and say sponsorship, I'd do that happily, but I don't think they do that.
Then there was that one, the something with bear in the name, the one that technically Tunnel Bear, yeah. Sponsored AP, quote unquote sponsored AP, but didn't actually ever sponsor us. And honestly, I'm not sure that we ever actually had anything other than just a generated referral code, because it also did not even give a discount. To this day, I don't understand why we ever did ad reads for them. That was the stupidest crap ever. And the person who's responsible for that was very stupid. I feel comfortable saying that, because he'll never listen to this show. And it deserves to be said because he screwed up. Anyway. Yeah, Diablo. They did not give any... Like, we got a referral credit if someone used Tunnel Bear, but there was no discount associated with the Tunnel Bear codes. So if you went in, you were literally just using a code to give us credit, which... Who's gonna... Like, I know some people will do that, but no one does it. It was a totally pointless sponsorship. And there was no payout otherwise. Anyway, let's see. So...
I was looking through the watch questions. I think I hit everything.
Do you have... Okay, so I know that they already had blood pressure, and I think they had ECG monitoring before, right? Like, that was, I think, in the 3.
Yeah, I know the hardware for that stuff has been in the watches for, I think, 2 generations at this point, but it's been such a slow trickle of getting those approved.
Yeah, and they had to do it country by country, so it didn't really hit a lot of places.
Yeah, like I know it took a long time for it to, like I think I want to say I don't know if it was the ECG or another one of like the complex functions that needs medical approval, but I know one of them showed up on like the original Galaxy Watch in 2017 or 2018, whenever that was, and then it did not get approved until the model after that was already released.
Yeah.
So, but I think how it works is that once whatever government body approved the software implementation, then it's just automatically available in the newer ones. So I don't think like the Watch 4 has to go through all this again. I'm pretty sure.
I imagine if they change something, it probably does, but
yeah,
it's not hard to prove that you didn't change anything.
Right. So I'm gonna see. I see stress. Oh, blood oxygen. There we go. Oh yeah, I can measure that. Move your watch higher on your. Okay, I have to move it higher. Okay. Place your elbow on the table. Hold your wrist near your heart. Okay. Is it gonna make me do a weird dance move? Alright, I'm supposed to stay still. Diablo said
Fortnite dance moves brought to you by Samsung watches.
Diablo said, is the BIA reliable? Oh, I got a 98% blood oxygen. I don't know if that's good or not. It's probably fine. Confirmed there is oxygen in my body. I think they still have a menstrual tracking under women's health. No one has told Samsung about the existence of trans and non-binary people. Okay. Diablo said, is the BIA reliable? When I tried all the advanced stuff with the Watch 3, it was very iffy. And I can't say for certain myself how accurate that stuff is because I don't have a comparison point. I don't have like, well, I guess I could go to like CVS and put my arm in the little thing that tells me what my blood pressure is. But I don't think I'm doing the full review for this watch. We'll see. That might be someone else.
Kind of on the broader sense of that topic, one of the things that constantly gets me is, as reviewers, we get stuff that technically has various types of sensors and being able to do readings and things like that. I can't tell you how often I sit there and look at something and go, I don't have any idea if this is any good.
Yeah.
In fact, for example, I got for review. By the way, review never got posted for a very good reason. But I got a review or 2 review units from this company that makes like air quality sensors, I guess you could say. And they're supposed to be attached to Google Assistant, and you're supposed to be able to ask, like, what's the air quality of my house right now, kind of a thing. And they're terrible. Honestly, I would have had no way to know if it weren't for the fact that I noticed every single time somebody even opened the door to the house, all of a sudden they would just completely wildly change their readings. And even from like across the house, like several rooms and a hallway away, all of a sudden the readings would change, and it's like, okay. So in other words,
like that's not how air works.
Pressure, like the quality of the air did not change. It's just the air pressure that's triggering these things. And so at that stage, it's like, yeah, these things are trash. I can't review this. And so they're still sitting in my room, just going unused, but whatever.
Diablo says, oh, Corbin, the Spotify app is now rolling out. Okay. Well, I saw the Spotify app in the Play Store, but I didn't download it because I thought it was just the same one, and it might be. But I'll download it, and then presumably when it becomes the good one, it will just update. That's how that works. So I'll download that. But yeah, like I don't have a good way to measure most of the health stuff here, so I can't really comment on that. But
yeah, we'll definitely keep going with questions and other things. I did want to quickly bring up, as previously discussed, Today is going to be a pretty short stream, in part because I can already feel the temperature crawling up in here. I'm also starving, so lunch is very much a goal in the not too distant future. But yeah, probably another 15-ish minutes, and then I'm going to cut out. I know Corbin also has things to do, so.
Yes. Well, I have an increasing number of things to write about for the watch for, according to Slack. So
I was going to say, I'm sure that number's increasing as this show goes.
Yeah, which is, that's fine. I've already figured most of the stuff out, so I just have to type it now. It's fine. And also I get to watch Suicide Squad at 7:00 tonight, which is in a couple hours. So.
I didn't really determine specifically when I'm going to watch it, but I'm probably going to watch that somewhere in the next 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, I mean, I like, Guardians of the Galaxy was great, and Peter Capaldi is criminally underrated, and I will watch almost anything he's in, so that's like half the reason I'm going to see this.
That makes sense.
But yeah, and this will be the first COVID movie I've seen. I was trying to think the last time I watched a movie in theaters, and I thought it was Dark Phoenix, but I believe it was
Knives Out.
It was Knives Out.
Yeah.
So that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was.
Feels like 3 or 4 years ago.
I still feel not sympathy. I just think Knives Out is not it's not the right movie to have had as your last movie before the pandemic hit. That being said, my last movie before the pandemic hit, the Harley Quinn movie. Oh,
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
poor Cody.
I am too.
I never watched that, but was that even close to good? What did that get on?
Okay, I will say this. It was substantially less terrible than most of the other DC movies, but that's also setting the lowest bar.
Yeah.
I mean, the only... Okay, there are definitely parts in it that are great when you do finally watch it. When she decides to break into the police station, epic scene. Absolutely fantastic. But holy crap, there's so much in that movie that just... I rolled my eyes. I was so disappointed by a lot of it. It wasn't terrible. It just... Man, they had an opportunity for something so much better.
Oh, that was January 2020.
Yep.
Yeah.
Austin, the last thing he saw was Jurassic World. Hey, it's going to the movies. That's pretty sad too. Jurassic World was
I enjoyed the first reboot. I have no interest in seeing any of the there's only so many times you can make more movies from an already destroyed dinosaur theme park.
Yeah.
I feel like you can keep doing this is a perfectly functional theme park, but oh no, suddenly there's dinosaurs roaming around and eating people. That's great. But I think once you go up it's like all the Terminator movies after the second one.
Yeah, the second one was great.
Yeah. After the second one, where it's okay, the future's already destroyed and they have to try to reverse on. I don't really care.
Yeah. Plus, holy crap, did they just... Any notion of the space-time continuum was just absolutely kicked in the nards.
Did you see the last one? I forget what it was called. I saw that with my brother and my mom, and it was fine. That's about... I don't know if I care to see it. It was fine.
Yeah.
It had a story that mostly made sense. So that's already higher praise than everything after T2. So yeah, excited to see a movie. Also next week, I'm going to go see an older Star Trek movie in theaters because it's having its 35th anniversary, I think. So they're showing it again.
35th. So is that original motion picture or?
It was one of the original cast movies. It was
Well, yeah, but I mean,
it was
at
I think it was
35.
the Journey Home. It was Star
Oh,
Trek.
okay. That might make sense.
Wait, it wasn't the Journey. What was it called? The Voyage Home. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That was the one where
Number 5.
that was the really forced like environmental one where the underlying message was save the whales.
Oh, so number 4. Yes, I actually do remember some of these things a little bit. I actually really like that one, even though.
No, I liked it too. You know why? Because it's just silly.
Yeah.
It's just a fun movie, and they go back in time, and there's this whole great bit where Scotty's trying to use like an original Apple Macintosh, and he's picking up the mouse and talking into
Computer.
it. Yeah, it's great. I like that movie.
Computer.
Yeah, and I still haven't watched all of the original series Star Trek movies because I don't care. Like I watched the original. That was one of the most boring movies I've seen in my entire life. It had the pacing of 2001: A Space Odyssey, but none of like the cool plot or anything. It was just slow.
Well, they thought they were doing something with special effects. That was their mistake.
I know. Like I love seeing, the cool like ship in the dock as much as the next guy, but when you spend 10 minutes just going around it, I get a little bored. And then Wrath of Khan is just a classic. Like, it's so cheesy, it's great.
Yeah.
Everything after that I don't really care except this one.
I remember Search for Spock being passable. It wasn't great or anything, but they had something to it. But yeah, Voyage Home was just pure fun.
Yeah.
I'll never get over and it's such a stupid thing to remember, but at a certain point, the girl that they run into, just the random Earth girl, at some point she says, "Oh, if you need any information, I've got it. I'm full of it." And it's a dumb line to remember, but it stands out so much as just that was the sense of humor that they were trying to deliver with that movie. Like, you're not even trying to be clever, you're just going for the low bar joke. And weirdly that worked. Well, for some people. Obviously not for everyone.
It was fun. So yeah, I'm excited to see that on. It seems like very rarely theaters are re-showing old movies that I care about. So I always like seeing, like, I really enjoyed seeing T2 in theaters a couple of years ago. That was also fun.
I don't think I've rewatched anything in theaters in a very long time, but I would love to do some Indiana Jones movies, and I want Back to the Future.
Oh yeah, I'd pay money to see that on a big screen. Well, I know I technically could, because all the theaters, like, for the past 6 months have been doing like hey, why don't you just rent our room, please? Yeah. No one's going to movies. Well, so I know I could if I technically wanted to, but that's work.
Almost exactly a year ago, I went hiking with some friends, and I won't go into the whole story. We'll just say that hiking plan got abandoned when one of them decided to kind of be a diva. Anyway, on the trip back from where we were going to be hiking, the topic of what to do next came up, and it's like, hey, well, the movie theater's open. Let's all go watch a movie. And they start listing. I'm sitting there driving, and it's like, yeah, I'll drop you guys off. I'm not going in. Like, screw that. No, it's like no one's. This is just dumb. I'm not doing it. But the stuff they listed did in fact include an Indiana Jones movie. It did. I don't think it included Back to the Future, but there was something else. I think they had Blade Runner playing. It was a few different movies, and it's all this classic stuff. And I'm just thinking, any other time in history, I'd love to do this. I'd be all about going to see half this stuff, but not when there's a freaking pandemic, you morons.
Yeah. Also, I'm trying to figure out how to enable developer options on this one. Because it's not in the on Wear OS. It was like
it was the same as Android. You just went into settings and and spam tap the build number.
Yeah, let me see. I just did that in the app, but did nothing. Let me see. Like there's not like there's a software version. Oh, there it goes. Okay, I got it. Okay. I think I really want to use ADB with this.
And now you can.
I got developer options. ADB debugging on. Yes. Okay. Now I have to learn. I guess I'll do debugging over Wi-Fi because I can never get the Bluetooth to work. Every time I tried that, it just never worked. Okay. I want to see if I can type this in. So it's ADB. Isn't it just connect and then I type the IP? Isn't that how usually this works?
I think so. Let me look at my notes because this is one of those things I have to look back on.
I got failed to. Okay, I got the prompt. Always allow. Can I connect?
Okay.
Awesome, connected. Okay, cool. Sweet. I can recreate my viral video of putting Windows 95.
Oh jeez. This is Corbin's road to YouTube fame.
Yes. Boy. Okay. Well, does anyone else have any watch questions? Because if not, I don't have anything else to talk about for the moment until I play with this more.
Yeah, and and even any other Samsung questions. Not that I think we left much uncovered. I guess you already technically answered this, and my answers will be fairly predictable. But you already said you're getting the Watch 4, and
yes, yeah. I bought the normal Watch 4 for myself.
Okay, yeah. I'm not going to get the Watch 4, even if I had the money to throw at it. I'm more likely just to wait for the Pixel Watch. And as far as the phones go, I really want to get a Fold 3, but fuck everything about an $1,800 price tag, even with trade-ins.
Yeah.
I can't afford that.
This is why, you not tweeting that your show is live has gotten us. Where if you had done that consistently, would have.
We'd have
had all
raining down on us.
Yeah, you'd have all the advertising money in the world to buy both of us Folds, and then we could both sit here and talk about it for 5. That's a show I will stay on for 5 hours, Cody. We can talk about the Folds together.
Yeah.
If you get me a Fold, I'll sit here all damn day talking to you about it.
You say that now. Watch. Somehow this happens, and then you'll be like, "Damn it! I did not mean to actually commit to 5 hours."
Yeah. Well, I might end up doing that for the Watch. We'll see by the end of this. And Diablo said, "I can't wait to see the updates on the Watch come back with it." Yeah, like I'm even after this goes back or gets sent to someone else for their review, I don't know yet. Like I'm still gonna wear my Watch 4 that I bought every day. That's gonna be my new watch. So
yeah,
I'm excited for it because I got the one that has like black and silver on it, and then I got the leather band for it, and it looked nice on the website. We'll see if it looks nice in person, but it looked nice on the website.
Looking nice on the website is what matters. Okay, so may as well, because man, we really just glossed over it, but just for giggles, because it was the other thing announced. Do you have any thoughts whatsoever on the Samsung Buds 2?
I paid no attention to that, and you know why? Because I already have the superior Samsung earbuds, Cody, and it's the Galaxy Beans. Those are the Beans. Those are my favorite earbuds. Sometimes they won't go in my ear for whatever reason, but when they do, they're great. And everyone complains about my microphone quality when they're in. They can shove it. I don't care. Samsung is the only company that tried besides like, like I've said this forever, that like I'm constantly in search of true wireless earbuds that are not in ear. I don't like the rubber going in, like having to shove it into my ear canal. They usually pop out after a while. The Razer Hammerheads I reviewed are an exception. They seem to fit fine for whatever reason. So I'm sure it's some combination of different size tips and stuff. But I still prefer not jamming something in my ear. Also, it's just nice that like when I'm out on like walks and I want to, have, hear my surroundings. If a car is barreling off the road and about to hit me, I'd like to hear it. And
sure?
I'm pretty sure. If nothing else, it's because my dog would be injured. And like I know ANC headphones can do the pass-through thing, but that's gross. So I like outer ear earbuds. I don't know if that's what they're called. And that's why I had AirPods for a while, even though they don't really work that well with Android besides just playing audio. I had the TicPods for a while because they were like AirPods clones, and they worked fine, except they eventually broke. And so I'm on the Beans now, which are mostly good.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything wrong with technically saying what I'm about to say. I'm pretty sure we're safe on this, but we're coincidentally, both Corbin and I are about to review the OnePlus Buds Pro. We're not allowed to talk about our impressions, hands-on review, or anything else, but I'm pretty sure we're safe acknowledging that we are going to review them because everyone already knows these exist. Like, there's no secret. They've been announced. They haven't been announced, but they've been running a public invite-only group to test it. Like, there's no mystery that they exist. Anyway, so, yeah. And mine should be coming somewhere in the next few hours. Yours, you have to go pick up, I guess. But
yes, they got dropped off at FedEx at like 9 a.m. today.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I tried to route both them and the watch there, and it wouldn't let me change the watch. It's too far gone, I guess. So, I have to go pick that up. I'll probably do that on the way to the movies.
Nice.
So,
nice. So yeah. Anyway,
are the Buds Pro not announced? There's a page. I'm looking at a store page for it on OnePlus's website.
Really?
Yeah.
The embargo notes I see say, quote, review embargo is the 23rd.
Yeah.
Only information that is in the official press release, official visual assets, blah, 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 and information in the official keynote can be shared before that date. Okay, so
so
it's
they're real
and full review that are off limits.
We can't share any opinions.
Yeah.
But they're real, and they're in here, so we'll see. I'm not gonna like let the fact that I don't like in earbuds affect my opinion, because that's silly. That's like that's like every time I've reviewed a budget phone in the past 2 years, and they're just ginormous, and I hate large phones, but that's a me problem. I understand that. Most people are against me here. That's fine. I've accepted that.
Ironically, I can still think of so many reviews and reviewers who are like, so by the way, I just kind of hate such and such thing. Let's move on and have a review. And then they spend way too long talking about the thing they hate. And it's like, all right. Yeah, you're objective.
That's me with Windows. If I ever have to write anything about Windows for work, I'm gonna be like, here's how to change your wallpaper in Windows. By the way, I hate this operating system. Please use something else. Moving on.
Corbin's beat in like 2 months reviewing Windows laptops.
Oh God. Oh. Don't say that.
I just gave you nightmares.
You did.
I can sense it.
Yeah. Yeah, so Carson said it's an Exynos processor, right? If you're talking about the watch, yeah. I forget what the name of it is, but they officially talked about it, I believe yesterday. Samsung did a press release in it somewhere. I don't know, I forget what the name of it is, but if you go to the specs page or like the buy page for the watch, it does say what it is. But it's like a new chip. I don't think it's been used in anything else yet. I think I remember it's a 5 nanometer chip. So take that, Qualcomm. But yeah, I'm sure people who use the OnePlus headphones are like, darn, who needs this wireless stuff? Yeah. I mean, I usually, if I'm listening to something on my laptop, most of the time I still just use my wired earpods. Like, they just work. They're good. But yeah, like if I'm doing stuff, if I'm doing anything else, I'll usually grab the Samsung buds just because like I like having the no cords. Because usually if I've got the earbuds in, I'm doing like dishes or laundry or something, and I've had that happen before I had like wireless headphones where I'll step away from the counter and the cord will snag on like the drawer. My earbuds go woo, there they go.
I know I've done that, but man, it's uncommon. More often than not, what I'm twisting my body or picking things up. If something's gonna pull the cord, it's something like that. I almost never catch a cord on like random things surrounding me.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often. But I'm just trying to. Oh yeah, I did write my thing about why I'm sad there's no small pixels. I don't know if it was a hit or not because XDA changed our analytics thing, and I don't have access to the new thing yet. So I don't know how if that was a popular opinion or not. But
well, you can't read comments and judge.
I most of the comments were in support of me, so that's good. There was one guy who tried to be a smart ass and left a comment about
saw that,
guys with small hands. Yeah, it's like, okay, buddy, not the point.
What a dummy.
I can have large hands or small hands and still want a small phone. That's not how anything works.
The low grade internet humor.
Yes, I love it. At least I didn't have to see that dipshit that pops up in all the other articles.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
It's hard not to know who you're talking about.
They will remain nameless, but I hate them, and I wish they would go away.
Corbin's actually talking about David Ruddock.
No.
You can notify David that Corbin was talking about him. It's okay.
He doesn't leave comments on articles.
That part's actually pretty true. He really doesn't. If he leaves a comment on an article, it's usually just long enough to say, I don't care what you have to say. Bye.
So I haven't looked at any of the anything about these earbuds yet. I just know they exist, and I was asked to review them because someone else was busy. So I'm looking at this product page for the first time. I've never tried any of OnePlus's earbuds, so I guess this will be interesting.
I was actually kind of unhappy about the fact I didn't get to be like, hey, can you send me any of your other earbuds so I have something for comparison? But yeah, that wasn't an option made available to me. So, but I'd kind of like to.
Yeah.
Though that being said, I read a lot of reviews for the previous, the regular Buds, not the Buds Z. I think is their budget one.
They had ones that still had a wire. I don't know if it was like earpod style. I think it might have just been like a neck butt thing, but
maybe. Anyway, the regular Buds sounded like they were really good, except for a few obvious cut corners. And then like a few months later, those things started failing just quite literally left and right. There was actually, I think the left one was failing really, really bad, and then the right one sometimes too. But yeah, those apparently they were very short-lived, just like the original OnePlus phone.
Yeah. I had that issue with the original Razer Hammerhead earbuds, where I got one to review, and I think I complained in the review that I couldn't tell a difference with the low latency. Like, it had a low latency mode for gaming, that I couldn't actually tell a difference. Maybe there was, but I couldn't identify one. And I said that in the review. And the PR person at Razer was like, "Can I send you another pair just to make sure?" And I'm like, "If you want."
Yeah.
I mean, like, I can't imagine that's something that would be defective from model to model. That's a software thing, but sure. And I got the second one, and I used it for a while, and I was gonna update the review just to like, I don't think anything changed, but like, we were just gonna do it because it had been a while and we could make it a little bit longer. And one of the earbuds just died, so I was like, yeah, okay, I think I'm done here.
So I actually have a theory. I've been boiling this for a little bit. PR people do actually have this weird tendency to, if anything goes wrong, they kind of just tend to say, "Can we send you a replacement? Can we send you a different one? Send back the one you have and send us this new one." I swear, this is the PR person's version of the IT crowd. Have you tried turning it off and back on again? I swear.
Yeah.
I think they just want to replace it because they want people to try setting it up again. And this time, maybe they won't screw up the thing that they set up wrong the first time.
Yeah, I can see why they would do that, because like they have basically no other options for this recourse, and their job is to, you know, try to make their products seem as good as possible. So I get where they're coming from, but
yeah. And I most of the time I try to work with them if I have any real complaints. I admit there's one particular company that I've worked with a few times that I don't do that, because I kind of don't want to have to go through the very long process of, okay, well, we're going to have you try this now. And, oh, what you need to do is go download the firmware update that just came out. And fun fact, I've already downloaded and installed the firmware update, so that's not the problem. And yeah, going through a lot of those steps becomes tedious and never changes anything.
Yeah. So yeah, so I'll be interested to try those. I think my like I already said, I like the beans the most, but I will say I think the best sounding earbuds I've tried are the second gen of the Razer ones that I tried, and they still work fine and they sound pretty good. So I'll be interested to see this. The case looks exactly like the newer Samsung earbuds, which might be copying Apple. I haven't looked too closely at what Apple's been doing lately, but at least they got Qi charging in the case. You know, Razer hasn't figured that out yet on their like $200 or $300 earbuds. Even though there's like $40 earbuds on Amazon that can do that.
Okay, you're talking about recharging the case itself with wireless.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, do the Buds Pro, OnePlus Buds Pro support that?
They should. I think all the recent Samsung earbuds do, because Samsung has that whole thing where you put the accessory on the back of the phone to recharge it. So that's
right.
helpful.
Samsung does. I'm asking if the OnePlus Buds do.
Oh, the OnePlus Buds. I don't know. Again, I have not looked at any of OnePlus's audio stuff really. I know Errol, who used to be at XDA, very much likes his Buds Z, but I haven't talked with him a lot about that.
Yeah, I'm quickly skimming down this page, and okay, they definitely will take a wire for charging because they support warp charge, and their image just blatantly shows
warp charge. Like, it's not. I very much doubt you're pumping 60 watts into the earbuds.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, the imagery very much shows cable coming out. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything about wireless charging for the case.
If it's not like at the highlight, then it's probably not there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. This is why I hate like writing anything about monitors, because they make literally everything like difficult to find. Like, does this have a good display panel? Does it support G-Sync? Does it support FreeSync? If they don't, you will have to go hunting to find out.
Wait, in the battery section it says wireless Qi certified.
Okay.
With a footnote, wireless charging requires Qi certified wireless charger. Okay. And I can't imagine that's the buds themselves, so it must be the case.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't think anyone has made earbuds that have the coils in the buds. That would be kind of intense.
Well,
I think you're breaking the laws of physics at that point.
Okay, specifically Qi charging, no, but I swear somebody did do something with some buds. Like some random weird company that released some super expensive buds. I think they had wireless charging in them. And all this accomplished was not having effectively pogo pins on the buds. I don't know why they thought this was a good idea, but I swear somebody did it. And it was using some proprietary wireless power format, but whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
so
I am looking forward to toying with these.
Yeah. I love me a good pair of earbuds. We'll see if they're good. Maybe they're garbage. I don't know yet. And when I do find out, I can't legally tell anyone for a while.
Yeah. Not for a week and a half, or almost 2 weeks, I guess.
I am excited to get my normal Watch 4 though, because I like the classic design, but I like the sleeker one more, and I'm excited to play with wireless with Samsung and all that fun stuff. So
yeah,
new toy. Although I don't get to play with it until after I come back from vacation, which is sad. So hopefully they actually put that delivery in the locker that they're supposed to put it in, and they don't leave it at my door for potentially several days while I'm gone. So
yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be great.
Anyway, I get from your voice you're probably done. I am hungry, so I want to go eat. So yeah, I think this will be the wrap up. Thanks everyone for coming by. Thanks for watching the show, being part of the conversation. Thanks for motivating Corbin to actually stick around for the entire duration of a RambleCast. It happened.
It only took making a RambleCast about a fifth of its normal length for me to stay the whole time.
A fifth.
You're right. It's more like a tenth.
Maybe. Anyway, glad y'all came by. I don't even know what else I was gonna say. As for this weekend, yeah, it's super unlikely there will be game streams because temperatures. But maybe I will do a different time, like a morning stream or something, because that may be the only way that anything will happen for the next few weeks. But yeah, with that, Corbin, do you have any? Oh, go ahead.
Or just stream something in complete silence, and it's like a weird energy.
For what it's worth, I very much actually intend to do some no vocal streams that are just music. It's gonna be like photo edits, video edits, stuff like that. But yeah, that's a future thing, or rather, when I get around to the thing.
Or just pre-record some sound bites and have like the board out so you can say like, "Hey, that's cool. Please subscribe."
Yeah.
I did listen to a podcast one time where one of the it was like 5 people I think in the call, and one of their main guys was out, and they did this whole gag where they had audio clips of like responses to questions for him, and they didn't tell anyone that he was gone until after the episode was published. And it was kind of funny. Yeah, no one noticed. It was great.
Nice. All right. Anyway, do you have any other things you want to say before we go?
No, but thank you to everyone who asked watch questions, because the prompts will likely turn into articles. So, yeah. Thanks.
All right. And remember, everyone, if anyone you know leaves their computer unlocked, open up a web browser and don't forget, subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow Corbin and myself on Twitter.
Listen to
you're
Tales.
doing them a favor. But with that, good night, everybody.